All right, ladies and gents, today I would say we passed, but Top Steps consistency rule isn't allowing us to pass. I guess I didn't make enough for the amount I needed to. For the consistency target, I need to make like oh no, I guess I did pass. They just they got rid of the account. I can't show you guys the trade. You just saw that real time. I was on the account. I guess I did pass it, but let me show you guys the trade. What the fuck? Bro, in my head I was thinking like, bro, I didn't pass the account. I didn't meet the consistency target. It was taking a little bit of time. I went for a walk, came back. I was like, oh, that's pretty weird, you know. It's been like close to 30 to like an hour. But I guess they just realized that the Express, no trade today, just on a combine. The one that was just bad to show you, but they just got rid of it, bro, for no reason. I was thinking in my head, I was like, bro, I definitely met the consistency target, you know, like I made a little bit extra than what I made previously from yesterday. But let me show you guys the trade idea here. Let me go over it. Here we took this trade on ES. I wish I could show you the executions, but I can't. They just got rid of that account. They merged it real time. Today was more bearish. 4 hour time frame. We had a 4 hour inversion fair value gap. Again, SMT at the highs, I believe, with YM, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we had SMT at the highs with ES and NQ. ES was I believe it wasn't meeting these lows, or it was actually, I'm tripping. It was sweeping those lows while the other ones weren't. So we had SMT at the highs. We had a 4 hour buy side imbalance, which again was kind of getting respected, I won't lie. But here, this was the reason we were targeting this low, which was London's low. Going into New York, you know, the market was really weird. It was really weird. I could see both sides, and this is kind of why I just like got in and out. You can see here pretty much we had that SMT at the highs. Okay, that was my first confluence. We were inside of the 4 hour, you know, inversion fairly up. Then we're inside of the 4 hour BISI. Sweep the low. I don't know where this low is from. It's a target low. 1 hour time frame, we swept the low, and then eventually on the 30-minute time frame, say 30-minute CRT, never completed, swept the high. Advanced EBP, 15-minute time frame. You can see the market is failing to displace, and this is where I eventually became short bias, right here. I didn't even look at all that. I didn't look at all the lines, this and that, bloody. All right, just to get rid of these. This is nothing. All right, this is where my main confluence was, right here. Why? Because again, we had this right here, this fair value gap. If this fair value gap didn't hold to me right here, this inversion, I was going to be bearish. Why? Because NQ was dropping, YM was moving up higher, and I thought to myself, okay, ES is like the middleman. Either ES is going to follow up with NQ, or is going to continue displacing higher with YM. And I've thought about it. I was like, okay, whichever one ES follows up, depending on this gap right here, because this one, it looked clear. We were bullish. You know, I was like, all right, we're going to be bullish. I'm just going to wait for a small retracement after we break above these highs, and then eventually I want to see NQ displace up higher also, but we never got that. And then I thought to myself, okay, this doesn't look good. You know, this doesn't look good. NQ is not displacing up higher. You can go to M and NQ, and you can see on the 5-minute time frame we had a 5-minute fair value up that I already have marked out. And I thought to myself, okay, if we're going to be bullish, we're going to make this inverse, probably going to try to aim for this high and this fair value up, and then chop around and then move up higher. Clear. But ES gave us other plans. ES eventually started to displace lower, and this is where I entered my trade. Believe me or not, I have the executions. Let's pull it up. Again, I've been doing my live recording sessions, so that's been helping a lot more recently. Again, I was looking at that fair value up on NQ right there, and then as you can see here, we were sweeping the low, and I wanted us to eventually start to displace up higher. This already is SMT on the lows, and then on ES, I was measuring the range. I was like, all right, hold on. This doesn't look bad. How much more downside movement, pips, you know, points for the stop loss? And again, this was on the Express. I was thinking about taking a trade on the Express. I was pretty sure. And then eventually I go back to NQ, and I'm realizing we're dropping. ES starts to follow up. I'm like, hold on, wait, this doesn't look bad. And then I take my short. And we start moving. And I enter off of the 5-minute. You know, I didn't wait for the closure. And then I, you know, boom, measure the range, 10 points right there. That is our stop loss. And then eventually we aim for a little bit more. I'm like, okay, we need a little bit more, because again, the balance was already at 1544. And I just aim for like 60 or 75 right here, but for 60, a little bit below those relative equal lows. And then eventually I start seeing the market displaced, and I go to the seconds time frame. This isn't the best, on my honest opinion, like measuring your trade in the seconds time frame. I usually don't recommend it. I usually recommend, you know, like staying on the 5, staying on the 1. And again, I trail my stop a little bit aggressively. I'm just waiting for us to reach that low to go break even. And then eventually I anticipate it being met right there. And eventually I go break even. And then I scale back up. I'm like, okay, hold on. This isn't, you know, the best going on the seconds time frame. So I just go back up to the 5 minute. And I've been trying to do that a lot more recently. Just staying on the time frame I've entered on and just being patient, you know, waiting. And then you can see that right there, the market is eventually just dropping, about to meet my first objective, which was those relative equal lows. And then eventually we have more that are down here. And I just overall knew the sell model would have been presented here. So yeah, that fair value gap was key, and that high up there wasn't met, you know, which is pretty unfortunate. And then we start trailing the stop below that low, or at that low, I should say, because again, that's like more of your break of market structure where you wouldn't want to see the market retest since you're already so much further lower. And I just left the stop loss placement there. I didn't trail or anything. Like, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't planning on trailing any further here. And yeah, that's the final objective right there. You can see. And I thought to myself, you know, like if we're gonna breach below that low, we might as well do it on, you know, reach the target. You know, we're probably gonna move a couple more points, and then this is where it gets a little tricky because the market moves up higher. And again, I'm not a robot. I can't, like, I have to go to the second time frame. I'm like, okay, hold on, is this like a real move higher? We're flipping, are we reversing? Am I only gonna make, you know, 1% for today? I'm thinking about it, you know, like I'm up 2%. You know, we're so close to the 3% target. Come on, you know. And I'm like, oh, should I trail? Should I move it? I was like, okay, this rally gap should get respected. You know, the market should hold the seconds, 15 seconds for rally gap. I go on the 1 second, bro. That's not bad. And then I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me go back up to the 5 second. Let me see this market move. You know, I'm seeing the up close candle come up. You know, I'm like, damn. You know, but then I think about it, move back up to the 5 minute. I'm like, okay, hold on. How does the 5 minute look? Bearish. We're strongly bearish. You know, we're really bearish on the 5 minute. I think we're going to continue to displace. There's no need to worry. There's no need to go to those seconds time frames any further. And this is critical because, again, I'm going to review it later throughout the week, honestly. But yeah, and then boom, next candle opens up, moves lower, reaches our target, breaches the area of sell side, and then we lock the account. And then eventually I go and I lock my other account, my funded watch. I'm like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it right now. And then I log my other, I go instantly and I lock it. Boom. All right, so that was pretty much really it. Let's go over here, and you can see this perfectly fine. Candle range low, candle range high. Looking at the 4 hour, looking at the daily. Again, we can really see both sides being met, but as of right now, I am looking a little bit more bullish till we reach this buy set objective on the higher time frame. But look at the 1 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour, and let's look at those highs. See those highs? Never met on NQ, and NQ was dropping. You see that? Look at YM, met those highs, broke above them. Better meet my final objective up here, which again is going to form some form of SMT. And yeah, swept the lows, pushed up higher, formed that candle range low. NQ is moving down lower. You know, clear what SMT divergence, and this is where it's in my name. It's in my name, SMT will, bro. Like I live for SMTs. But yeah, that's pretty much the trade idea. Beautiful trade right here, taking it all the way down to these lows, and you can see the market what continues to displace after that first 5 minute candle, just displays further. What I wanted to take this on the funded account, my real honest answer was yes. I was thinking about, you know, if I take this on the funded, I can be up, or I can probably get back out of this drawdown, you know. And I really thought about it. I was like, okay, if we take this on the funded, you know, we can be out of drawdown. But then I also thought about it, you know, like we're already in drawdown. Why not get another account? And, you know, have the reassurance that, okay, if we blow this account, following the system, following the model, take really good setups from here on out, we have another one, you know, that's going to be waiting for us. Doesn't seem like a bad option, you know. And always, you know, like everybody always talks about, like, you know, your first funded account, you always blow it. You always get the jitters, or you can't, you know, like, it's just hard to comprehend that you're on a funded and you trade differently, and then boom, you blow it. I don't want to have that, you know, where I blow it and then eventually I don't have another account. You know, like, what am I doing? I'm stuck, you know. I'd rather have 2 funded accounts. Again, I'm going to trade this one as I usually do with 1% risk. And then maybe for the next one, I'll probably lower the risk if we do bad on this one. But if we're able to get out of the drawdown, we're able to get a payout, then eventually I'm going to trade the other one. But even then, I think I'm still going to lower the risk on the other one to like 300 personal daily loss limit, and only 300 per trade idea, because again, you only need 150, and I'd rather build that reassurance and that buffer through the payouts and then through the consistency to then prove it to myself, okay, we can be able to risk more. We know we have a system that's proven, and again, it's only 2 months using this system. Very, 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 very crazy, you know. So that's going to be the end of the video. Good trades, you know, follow your system, guys, follow your rules. Again, SMT, higher time from SMT, we did have a lower time from SMT. Failed to continue displacing off of this 5-minute inversion, finally got breaking the highs. Failed to even reach these highs, and then eventually the market started to reverse, clear what we're going to reach for these lows, follow NQ, and that's basically the trade idea. Not complicated. Trading should not be complicated. Keep it simple, keep it sweet, keep it concise. So that is pretty much really it. Peace.